Hello. I'm not feeling it tonight. So I figured let's talk. That and I can sit there. Hey Effie. I can sit here and type away at this and finish writing the Marcus information. Feel free to ask questions. Either one of you. If Allison, well, it doesn't look like Allison's here anyways. Well, that's good. What are you writing? Oh, yes, the one that Allison has told me about. Well, as good as they can be with a person in the opinion of a person who could care less when it comes to romance and has written romance. So, I mean, I have a book on Amazon that's a romance book. So, well, I actually have quite a few books that are already published. So, but they never sell. So, why bother? I was talking about Full Circle, Allison. Why bother? Full Circle is very poorly written. Probably should be pulled, edited, re-edited, then put back up afterwards. Same thing with all the other books, which I will never finish the series of. Rather focus on something new, something better. Did you catch what I'm planning what I'm doing tonight, Allison? I'm not feeling building anything, even though I am very happy with actually getting these massive joints working. Yeah, they don't come apart either. But tonight I'm not feeling it, so I just decided to finish writing Marcus's profile. Maybe start on the next one. So, do you think the cape's body would work? Those are for. I've been trying to figure out how to make big joints so I can make several different things, and that was an idea that I'd come up with before. Basically, if I want to build an AIM Sentinel, here's the knee joints and the elbow joints, and quite possibly the shoulder joints if I can't figure out how to make a ball joint. Problem is, I need to figure out how to get them perfectly flat without destroying them. Because there's one side that has a tube. See if I can get it apart. One part has a tube that sticks out beyond, but I need this section to be perfectly smooth. The other side wouldn't be too hard. I mean, just pop that out and sand it. But it was about function. The guy I sent you as an action figure, see, I'm trying to find the rest of the characters. I went and ordered the body for Melissa, who is the team's handler for Shield, and Mike's sister. This is not going to be her head. That's the Quake head. And I ordered this guy to be Jackson, the main bad guy and brother of Max. And he's going to be basically, he's going to end up with an armband on him. I'm not going to change the color of the suit. I'm trying to decide if I want to just paint his hair red brown and do something with his face a little bit, or if I should just get another head. But I've also made decisions on a few other things because of it. Since we're going to need AIM enemies, I started going through and different stuff. So, as I said to Effie earlier, feel free to ask questions. Uh, well, I have his starting information and going to about the middle of his life. What? Motu Transformers crossover in a development? Okay, Hasbro and Mattel are being weird. Of course, I guess that's no different than anything else that Mattel's been doing in the recent years. Hey, let's give Ploymite a bunch of money by getting a hold of one of their licenses and making them into part of the Moto universe. Yeah, but Transformers and Masters of the Universe being combined, that's just wrong. Okay. So I'm guessing you want me to read what I have so far. Okay. Character's name is Marcus Anna or Anna Marcus. It's not the way it's spelled on in his actual native tongue. His code name is Magian. His birthplace was the city of Kedron in the Fey realm of Tyr alone. His age is 23 according to his driver's license. His species is Kroll, which I need to go back through and make sure I spell that with a C, not with a K. And that's a fairy Fey touched Kree Scroll hybrid race. His powers: Marcus is a master of Fey magics and has been trained in other magics under the great sorcerers of Earth, including Doctor Strange, Doctor Voodoo, Magic, Scarlet Witch, Enchantress, Shaman, and has attended Strange Academy. Every 6 months, Marcus transforms uncontrollably, becoming Anna Marcus for 6 months. So for 6 months out of the year, he's male. For 6 months out of the year, he's female. His physical description: Marcus and Anna both appear to be Caucasian with a blue-green tint to their skin and purple-gray eyes. As Marcus is very dark green, has a dark green mohawk and a soul patch on his chin. I still need to do that. He wears black pants with high boots and a t-shirt. As Anna, has very dark blue hair, often worn in a loose bun, but due to the fact that it grows very long only when he becomes a sheep. She wears a black bodysuit with thigh-high boots and fishnet stockings. In both forms, she carries a small drum, a short saber, and a strange hourglass, and wears a shape-changing hooded robe, which is a cloak. These objects are magical and focus objects. The drum of Eleanor, which allows Marcus / Anna to summon sonic blasts and tremors. The saber of Elona, which allows him to use Fey light magic and also acts as a short sword. And the hourglass of the Raven Queen, which Marcus / Anna doesn't fully know how to use, but works well for powering their magic and opening portals. The robe is called the robe of the Kroll, which is given to all young Kroll mages when they pass into adulthood. The robe allows the wearer to fly and camouflage them and others near them to near invisibility. The robe also has pockets for holding that allows the wearer to store huge amounts of objects. Personality. Marcus and Anna, Marcus/Anna, is calm, easygoing, and cheerful disposition. They often found to be happy and jovial at any given time. However, when their anger is brought out, they become very scary indeed. As Marcus, the anger shows as near total silence until he's given the chance to let it all out. His rage can literally become fire, and he will burn objects with his anger. As Anna, the anger shows as a loud rage that she has no trouble showing at all. The air around her becomes cold, and she can freeze you out with just a look. Showing anger is the only way Marcus and Anna are different other than the physical changes. Okay, the story so far. Marcus/Anna is a member of the Kroll, one of two Kroll-Skree hybrid species found on the Fey realm of Tir Elon. And it says, see Kroll-Skree explanation, which I will be writing later. Considered as a special birth and was always believed to have a great future ahead of them, he was born the second born of twins, which is in itself is unusual for Kroll. Had the other person who gave birth that day had a single birth, so there was no mated person for Marcus. Besides this unusual circumstance, he was born with the mark of Elon, which hadn't been seen in centuries and had never seen on someone who was born without a mate. His young life was filled with stress and sadness. Without a born mate, he had no built-in friend, and because of the mark, many other children were scared of him. He also received pressure from his parents to study hard and learn as much magic as he could. He often found friends with the Skree children who lived near them, but other than that, he only had his sibling and her mate, his parents who loved him, and even though they pressured him, and a strange woman who would come to visit once a week. As he grew, he gained popularity of both Kree and Skrull. His magics rivaled some of the adults, and his charm was noticeable. Some of the Kroll called him the Touched, meaning he was far more powerful than others of their race, but also he had a phase charm. The thing was that because of the mark, they were right. Though many people wanted to be his friend due to his young mastery of different magics, he had been of the magics he had been shown, he stuck close to his sister, her mate, and the Skree kids he had made friends with. Unfortunately, one of those was a female named Bria Bren, or Bibi, who became obsessed with the idea of her and Marcus marrying. Other than Bibi, Marcus had no interest in women or men, just his studies. And that's as far as I've gotten. Considering that pretty much most of his story has already been told uh, through Alice and Abby, I don't know how much more I'm going to write, really. But there is a bunch that happened without them. So you're a new writer, huh? Well, to let you know, Effie, I'm not used to actually putting this stuff down on paper. It's all up here most of the time. And the truth is, I write episodic more than anything. Something that it never really reaches an end. There's always more story to tell. Sometimes I'll hand it off to someone else, and sometimes I'll continue to work on it. As for a short book in itself, well, the longer you write, the more you realize there is so much to say. And you have to make the choice on what you're going to leave out and what you're going to put in. That's just how writing works. And the truth about it is, this is small compared to a couple of the other things I've written, just as a character profile. I once had a 10-page character profile, and that was for a Dungeons and Dragons game. Needless to say, my DM was very unhappy with me. I don't plan pages, period. I start writing, and then whatever comes out, comes out. Yes, it does depend on who's telling the story. Some people, like Allison, plan everything out. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it works. But then you have people like me that just do it. I just start writing. And whatever comes out on paper, well, that's what comes out on paper. Yes, I have a problem writing women, and I couldn't bring myself to kill Layla. After all, most often when I'm writing, my main character is an avatar of myself, and killing a character who an avatar of myself loves would be killing somebody I love. Well, it's just to be. You've never been a man. Just like I've never been well, I have never physically been a woman, but I have done acted as a woman in a play many times. Hell, I've been a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Yeah, I'll agree with Allison. Yep. So, how about we talk about something happier and lighter? You know, I mean, I'm the fount of knowledge when it comes to Marvel Comics. If you want to know more about Marvel Comics, ask me. And don't just leave it to the X Men. Yes, I know. Well, that's a common thread. I mean, you've got fanboys out there that have watched the movies and cartoons and think they know everything there is to know about Marvel Comics, but have absolutely no clue how deep the rabbit hole goes. Oh, yeah. Thanos. Yeah, let's talk about Thanos. Okay, this man is a born psychopath who fell in love with the embodiment of death and destroyed half the universe to impress her, which it didn't. It had nothing to do with the altruistic reasons they gave in the movie. If the okay, I don't disagree with the altruistic reason they gave him, but I disagree with them giving him an altruistic reason. He's supposed to be a complete and utter nutcase psychopath who wants to the attention of the personification of death. He's a selfish person, and I should have left him as a selfish person, not a person who was trying to save the galaxy by cutting out how many people there were. Thing is, that character wasn't wrong. Well, like I said, the movie version of him, he wasn't evil. He was just doing something evil for a good reason. Altruistic reasons don't excuse what you're doing and doesn't make it any less wrong. But it does make it a hell of a lot easier for you to forgive them. Sometimes people are just plain evil. I mean, it's like, the only good part about the Joker movie is they didn't change the fact that the Joker just wants to see the world burn. They didn't give him an altruistic reason. They just made him a psychopath, more of a nutcase than he already was. So I have no problem with the way that movie went. However, it still bothers me that they make all these villain movies. Another good example, Maleficent. Okay, That one I can agree with. However, Cruella de Vil, she was a psychopath that wanted to kill puppies to make a coat. There is no redeeming qualities about this woman. And I don't know why they wanted to give a backstory and redeeming qualities. And now they've got Wicked. Okay. Yes, the Wicked Witch of the West does have a backstory where she was always evil, but when she let the darkness into her heart, she became the most evil out of the three sisters. And why is the White Witch of the uh, North so vapid that I want to hate her? I mean, even looking at the woman they've chosen to cast in the movie for her makes me go, I want her dead. But of course, nobody's going to listen to me. They're going to continue to want to do all this stuff where they have all these people who, oh, well, it's okay to be this way. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be. No, it's not okay to be evil. All right. And evil people often don't have redeeming qualities. Yeah, it's nice to know the reason behind something once in a while. It's just, why did they have to do certain things that made these people look better than they were? Yeah, that right there. Okay, Dorothy accidentally kills her sister when the house falls on her. It wasn't her fault. It was not Dorothy's fault. It was just the way things were. And yet, she blames her so much that she hunts her and wants to get her and her little dog too. Exactly. And no matter how altruistic the reasons are, evil is evil. Committing a evil act in order to do good is still evil. That's why I hate choosing the lesser of two evils. There's no such thing as the lesser of two evils. You're still choosing evil. You know, there are villains in the Marvel universe that have altruistic reasons that it makes sense. Magneto being one of them. He's more interested in protecting his people than he is destroying anything. But it doesn't change the fact that he still wants to kill half humanity and is willing to do it. Also, he wants to be the ruler above all other people. Still evil, just less evil because he has an altruistic reason. Hell, I'm even willing to give King a pass on that one. What part about DC characters? Batman can't. Okay, I have a saying when it comes to Batman. Batman couldn't beat his own meat without prep time. Superman is one of the lamest superheroes of all time because literally is indestructible and invulnerable. And that actually makes a better villain than a hero. General Zod. Okay, General Zod doesn't have altruistic reasons. Even in other media, he's a conqueror. He wants to take over everything, and he thinks that the that Kryptonians are the smartest people and they should rule everything. No, he wasn't. That's the new movie stuff. General Zod was trying to expand their empire. And because of the fact that he was expanding his empire against the peacegivers of Oa, he got stuck in the Phantom Zone. That movie tries to make him look like a good guy, but destroying another race so you can take their planet, that's not a good idea, especially when everybody on the planet would then have superpowers. No, if Zod really wanted to save his people, he would have found a habitable planet in a red star system so that nobody had superpowers. Plus, you're bringing up something that was written by one of the worst directors of the modern day. A man who goes off topic every chance he gets unless somebody's holding his hand. I will say Snyder is definitely better than J.J. Abrams, but not by much. I never understood why he wrote it that way with Zod wanting to take Earth. That doesn't make sense. Zod wanting to take over Earth is because he's trying to expand his thing. But wanting to take over Earth from humans doesn't make sense to me. It wouldn't be good for him or his society for everybody to be living under a yellow sun. In fact, it would more than likely kill their species in about 5 generations if that happened. Unless they were interbreeding with humans. That's why in the comic books, with the introduction of Superman's half-human son, and him becoming the new Superman, it's really a great idea. I'm looking forward to this new movie because I think that the what's coming up will probably fix a lot of the problems. The Snyderverse was just too messed up. Plus, it'll put some of the levity that that damn series needs. I mean, there's no reason to be that dark. Batman's the dark one. Superman's usually kind of happy. Aquaman is silly. Wonder Woman has some silliness and some seriousness and some darkness. Flash is fucking ridiculous. And of course, those are the characters you're going to want to do most with. And then on top of that, where the hell's Green Lantern? I want Green Lantern. I don't care how bad that first Green Lantern movie was. Give me Green Lantern. I mean, literally, he is the most powerful person on in the entire galaxy. He just has a limited time that he can use it because eventually he'll run low on a power generate on his power battery. But anything they can imagine and his sheer force of will can create, he will do. This is a guy who literally has beaten Kryptonians with a blink of an eye. He beat Zod in a yellow star system by faking kryptonite. It wasn't even real kryptonite, and he still drained all the power from Zod, almost suffocating him in space and putting him back into the Phantom Zone. Hal Jordan's freaking awesome. And then you have the one who replaced him, Kyle Rayner, who is the only White Lantern, which shows that he's even more badass than Kyle is. Yes, Green Lantern is the most powerful and has beaten Superman. It's just that uh, Kyle and uh, Hal Jordan haven't always taken their job as seriously as they should in the situations they've been in. But of course, Flash also has more than powerful enough to be able to beat any Kryptonian too. And the funniest part about it is he's a normal human. And as I stated before, given enough prep time, Batman could beat any Kryptonian and probably an entire Kryptonian army. He just need a lot of prep time. You know something else? Aquaman's strength is on par with Wonder Woman and Superman. He can fly. He can do pretty much everything they can do, even though he has an upward limit on strength where Superman and Wonder Woman technically don't. But he also has control over sea creatures. Honestly, he's one of the coolest characters in DC Universe. But I think probably the best character in DC, period, is Green Arrow. Uh, Guy who's not exactly the best fighter in the world and not exactly Batman level of intelligence, goes out, fights crime using a bow and arrow, yet is still just as successful at doing it as Batman is with half of the equipment. I mean, he builds his own arrows, and oh, by the way, if I don't want to kill you, I'm going to shoot you with an arrow that's got a freaking boxing glove on it. Catwoman is a villain, Allison. Whether she admits it or not, whether everybody admits it or not, she's a villain. Yeah, she helps Batman and she loves Bruce and everything else, and they've almost gotten married, but they've never turned it into an actual good character. Which actually disappoints me because I may very much think that they should have. Poison Ivy. That is an eco terrorist. But you know, I have never understood why they never had her and Swamp Thing become a couple. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Oh, we weren't really talking about that, but yeah, I know that Catwoman's your favorite. You didn't have to tell me. No, because there is way too. They have quite literally turned Poison Ivy into a lesbian. She only has eyes for Harley, who is definitely bisexual, because Harley has eyes for, well, no longer for Joker, but she has eyes for Poison Ivy, Batman, Nightwing, knowing he is actually Dick Grayson, so she is constantly flirting with Dick too. She threatened to do horribly wonderful things to the third Robin, Tim Drake, and she has had physical relationships with both uh, Bullseye, Deadshot, and I can't remember what the other guy's name is, but the other guy that was a important member of the uh, um, Suicide Squad. When it comes to female characters, Harley's the best, and I'm glad they turned her into a hero. And I often very much wish that they would do that with uh, Poison Ivy. Jim Carrey never played the Joker. He played Riddler. And he didn't play the Riddler. I can understand why you would think he played the Joker because he played the Riddler like he was Joker. The Riddler is a thinking man. Yeah, he's a psycho, but he's a thinking man. He's not supposed to be completely off the wall. He's supposed to be calm and get angry when somebody solves his fucking puzzles. Harley Quinn, well, Harley had the darkness in her already. Joker just brought it out. I think Harleen Quinzel would have eventually become Harley Quinn, even if Joker hadn't manipulated her into it. But I think she would have been on the good side. I did get a kick out of the fact that she got her psychiatric license back and was treating patients again. Last I'd heard, after she gave up the villainy. I know that her and Ivy almost got married recently. And then Ivy realized that Harleen was just kind of an omnisexual and decided that it was probably better that they didn't. No, you don't want an ElfQuest movie. You want a series of ElfQuest movies. 152 2-hour movies to actually tell the story completely. I want a non-kid friendly Turtles movie. I want Mirage Comics of the original story done as a movie. Never going to happen. They came close. The first movie was about as close as you're going to get and still be kid friendly. but I don't give a shit if it's for kid friendly or not. We don't need kid friendly. What we need is actually good. Yes, I agree, but I want it to be live action or at least realistic animation, computer animation done with live backgrounds. And I want Gen to be a major character in it. I'd also like to see Panda Khan in it. Even though Panda Khan technically isn't part of Usagi Yojimbo's story, he's still from the same universe. I never understood why they gave him a samurai outfit in the Ninja Turtles line. He was Chinese. He was a Mongolian trying to invade that world's version of Japan. I also want to see Sony drop this whole Spider-Man thing and go back to producing a Valiant universe. I don't care what anybody says. Bloodshot was a good movie. And they should do Archer and Armstrong and Harbinger. Usagi was a Ronin, but Panda Khan was a Mongolian. He was an invader from Mongolia. Yeah, in the first issues, Usagi wasn't a Ronin. He became a Ronin after I think it was a fight with Panda Khan's army. The um, their master took off during the fight, basically leaving his troops to die. And he decided that he was not going to serve a coward. So him and Gen went off and started doing their own thing. I think that's how that happened. But yeah, he was a Ronin through most of the story. I really get a kick out of his crossovers with the original Ninja Turtles. That was funny. If it hadn't been Mirage Comics that was producing Usagi Yojimbo, then I don't think they would have been able to get away with the crossovers. Complete Dragon's They tried to do a backdoor pilot with the original Ninja Turtles series, and it didn't work. They also tried that with the Frogs, even though the Frogs didn't have comic books to pull from. They still tried to do a backdoor pilot with them twice. And the second series, they tried to do a backdoor pilot with Usagi too. I do believe there are animated shorts out there somewhere.